We're into the finals of the Olimoleague. Again, starting off on Abyssal Reef. You got all the casters in here, all the players in here. It's a best of 5 TvT. And I have a feeling it'll be a good one. Again, ByuN, Bunny, maybe you don't know Bunny, and maybe that all sounded like the same word. Oh no, this cast's gonna be terrible. But
it's a BBB.
It's a ByuN, Bunny, ByuN time. But I think that Bunny has been looking strong and consistent enough. No, he doesn't always get to the finals, or even the semifinals, because he isn't always participating in these Olimoleagues. But whenever we get to cast him, it seems to be very good. Maybe we're the lucky charm. I don't know. So, and ByuN in the past, his weakest matchup, I would say, used to be his TvT. He just did not take good engagements, even though everything else was, like, pristine. His engagements were questionable. But he's fixed that. He's fixed that for, like, the last 6 months. And it's just as good as his other matchups.
Yeah, should be interesting to see how things go as we hop into Abyssal Reef, our TvT best of 5.
Alright, can't forget it's a best of 5. In the top left is the red Terran. It is ByuN.
And in the bottom right, we have the blue Terran player. Give it up for Dust Bunny.
Alright. Thank you to Blaine Thomas12 for the new Twitch Prime sub. I'd like to take this time in the finals to remind you all that the Olimoleague is made and supported and continues to thrive because of you guys and the Patreons. Patreon.com/Olimoleague is where you can go to see the rewards as well as just learn about why it's so good to help out this awesome tournament. As Fear Dragon said, it's only like $15 away from its next tier.
$15. We are at $535 per weekly tournament. If anyone is interested in supporting the Olimoleague, not only are there all kinds of awesome, super duper awesome Patreon rewards, but yeah, $15 away from increasing the prize pool of the monthly finals by $100, up from $500 to $600.
Yeah. It's already a pretty nice prize pool, but more money, more good. And more chances for awesome players to really prioritize this tournament over others. And we got our innovations and our Sues occasionally, but even they didn't show up today. Those slackers.
Yeah. I think they were playing in something else. There was another event. I think it's over now.
Yeah, there's
but there was like there was some weird like event where I think they played with super duper weird restrictions and stuff.
I don't know about that. Oh, there was the cup, I think, that like Tenchi was casting.
Yeah,
and then
that was it.
I heard something about like a VSL cast, but I didn't see anything, so I don't know about that. But yeah, there were a couple of reasons. I'm mostly just kidding here. But the point is, supporting is always great. It's already a good prize pool, and that prize pool, to be specific, is, I think, 100 for first place and 50 for second place. Yep. So the third and fourth place guys did get a nice bit of cash. $25 is like 5 lunches in Korea, so hey, that's good.
Oh god, that would be so nice.
Yeah, guy lives in San Fran. 20
yeah,
bucks a
it's
meal.
like, oh, you have $80? That'll be about two meals.
You know. This Reaper is usually not such a complication. 1 Reaper versus 1, hey, no big deal. But that SCV makes it a little bit scarier, so Bunny is forced to pull his own SCVs. Gotta take this seriously. Gotta take it seriously. Oh, God.
Oh, such a close fight in terms of the Reaper health.
Oh, my God.
And it
Oh,
looks
my
like
God.
just barely. ByuN is going to end up winning out, and that bunker is still being built.
I would have run away with my tail between my legs, man. Like, I cannot believe he kind of just assumed he was going to get the first shot, and he was right. He gets the first shot again, and he had more health.
The SCV's still alive. It's going to finish that bunker.
This is going to snowball. It sucks to lose a TvT like this, but it happens. It's not supposed to when you're a pro gamer, but it does. And it's a build order thing, man. Like, if you see this coming, your best bet might be to just hold up in your main base for like an extra 10 seconds. But Bunny took a chance, wanted to get rid of the bunker, and it has cost him a lot of time at that command center and a couple of units.
Yeah, I mean, ByuN does not have his own command center back at home behind this, but he is getting up his own Banshee. He's getting up Cloak, and if you look comparatively, Bunny is still just finishing up his own starport. His command center is still going to be pretty delayed. Maybe if you can somehow make this work and defend against the Banshee without taking too much damage, the command center will start to pay for itself.
It probably will. That didn't snowball as much. The Cyclone was the hero that Bunny needed, but even then, ByuN almost took it out. that would have been too good. That would have been just too good. The Banshee should still get, even with counters in, you know, prepared already, should get like 5 SCV kills, I would say. Especially if it dodges. If it dodges the Raven auto turret, then it might even get a lot more, which is a little scary.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even engineering bay down, so even just the scan set it'll force out will be really nice. And there aren't that many Marines around for Bunny. 7 Marines, and I guess the Cyclone can technically help out a little bit, but...
Scans available. 3.
Raven should be popping out, so maybe he's going to try and wait it out for the Raven, but it's going to take a lot of damage if he does.
He really wants to. He's going to abuse this cliff as well, so the Marines can't do very much. The auto turret would have been risky to throw down. And then he's just going to leave and wait until that Raven's caught out of position again. Yeah, just going to kind of juke and jive around it, and that should be a couple more SCVs in the main base. You do not want to... You don't really need to, and you don't really want to, build an engineering bay and turrets. You're supposed to just get defenses, and later those defenses become attacking units.
Yeah, but SCVs start to go down, even focus firing down the lower health SCVs. Cyclone tries to lock on, but the cloak comes out, and the Raven is so far behind. This is already just unbelievably devastating amounts of damage being done.
Yeah, it really is. Another SCV goes down in the last shot there. I think there was like 2 Marines, and 20 SCVs total. Oh, and another Banshee comes in over here. This is too much damage. I don't think Bunny's realized how few SCVs he has quite yet, because he's been pulling them away and looking at his army, but soon enough he's going to look at both of these bases and be like, oh, this isn't too good. I definitely shouldn't be mining off of all 4 gases.
So much for those that early expansion command center have the economic lead.
Right? The Banshee's pulling the Raven so far out of position, the Viking too, that if ByuN had a follow-up with tanks, it could have been really scary.
The Banshee escapes.
How?
The Banshee escaped.
He did like a U-turn, and the Viking was like, what?
The Viking went too far north, and the Banshee just went on the far south side of the map. Oh god, Zombie Grove. That Banshee is going to get more kills.
Alright.
It's going to make its way to natural. It might even kill off mules.
Bunny's just going to all in, which I don't blame him. It actually might even work in like a really ideal scenario. But he already took a shot from the Widow Mine. His Raven is already destroyed here. But ByuN just has to hold. Just hold it all. The Banshee has no counter. Oh wait, no, it does. But it's already done 12 SCVs, so whatever.
Siege tank gets focus fired down. The Raven also gets taken out, but ByuN just has too many Marines now. Focus firing down those siege tanks, and that Banshee, I think, eventually did get cleaned up. There's actually a Raven from ByuN though inside the mineral line, the main mineral line of Bunny. GG. That was a series of unfortunate events.
It was. It was exactly what you hope when you open up with a 1-base build. Otherwise, you know, sometimes those 1-base builds don't work, and you have to kind of play catch-up, and it's maybe you get a faster 3rd CC, and it's a very long game, actually. TvT is a fun matchup because it can be emphasis on early, mid, late. It can end early, mid, late. It can go super, super late and super, super early. It's a lot of variety.
Oh, well, hopefully we won't have a repeat of that game. For Bunny's sake, as that's one of the really frustrating, I think, type of losses. You lose one of those games, and I legitimately think some people would be very easily tilted by something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping it doesn't happen. Especially versus a player like ByuN, where you kind of have to be super duper unbelievably on point the entire series.
I don't know enough about Bunny to really say very much to his mental state usually. You know a lot about ByuN and how he can get tilted and emotional and other players, but I don't know much about Bunny.
Yeah, I know on the some of the Dank Shrine interviews, really great bunch of interviews, by the way, for anyone interested in those. They've been interviewed like Sue and Innovation and a bunch of other people. But I know a lot of players were just really talking up Bunny and saying, you know, this guy is not just about his skill level, but like how hard working he is, how he is one of the hardest working Koreans out there right now. So we'll see what he can do in the second game of this best of 5 finals.
Yeah. On the bottom right, as the red Terran, it is Dust Bunny.
And in the bottom left, we have the blue Terran player. Give it up for ByuN, sitting up 1-0.
I didn't realize that's what he said in the interview. I knew he's interviewed.
He was interviewed recently. I think other people were saying words of praise about him.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Still, that's what...
He was praising himself.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah,
I
right.
am one of the hardest working people in the Korean scene.
Yeah, I guess that was... That's true. He wouldn't want to say that. But anyways, it does make sense. I mean, that would explain why he went from just kind of like, not, you know, did we really care? Was he actually even playing anymore? To suddenly just, oh yeah, he's taking on a lot of the best players in Korea right now. Hard worker.
Mm-hmm. But hard work only pays off when you can get the results from them. So how is this game going to end up going? We did have a pretty quick second guess geyser from Bunny compared to ByuN, who it looks like to me ByuN wants to go for a faster CC this game.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a change-up of build orders here. ByuN goes for the 1x expand, Bunny goes for the quicker factory, but can Bunny get that same snowball effect that ByuN did? ByuN get the snowball effect a lot because he brought that SCV in the bunker, and thus, you know, Bunny felt the necessity to break it. Otherwise, you can just kind of hole up in your main base and wait. You know, wait it out. Wait for the extra Marine, wait for the extra Cyclone, what have you. And it's not going to be a Reaper opener anyways from Bunny, so it's not going to be that type of snowball effect. I don't know. The Reaper's usually too good to give up, but Bunny doesn't seem to care.
Yeah. Well, ByuN's going to move out with his own Reaper, and I guess the nice thing is on Newkirk Precinct, even though there is this kind of like big edge that is greeted by like the third expansion, the Reaper has to hop up into the natural first, and that gives Bunny a good amount of time to actually get some good damage done. Forces the Reaper back. It's not going to be able to get too much more information.
No, but it saw something very important. Of course, that was, first of all, ByuN didn't make a mistake by sending his Reaper out, because if there were two Reapers and they're attacking right now, and he's screwed over his command center. But then also, yeah, there's not Reapers in general, so he doesn't have to worry about that added element to any push that's following up. And in fact, when you see Marines and no Reapers, not even one, I think the automatic assumption without having a scout is that it's going to be Banshees and Cloak. This time it's not, it's Raven. But that's fine though. That's like, okay, now I don't have to worry about any harassment. Okay, light turret harassment, of course, but you know, not really any urgent need to get my Viking and Widowmine and whatnot.
Yeah, and either way, the response is probably going to be kind of similar. You're going to get up a Cyclone. You might get up a really fast Viking if you decide not to just go for a really quick medevac. But, ooh, ByuN gets into the main base. Almost makes it out with the Reaper as well.
He saw no research on the tech lab, so we might just assume that it is, in fact, a Raven. And, well, that could be very easily defended against with a Viking, to be honest. A Viking right here, and the Raven just has to kind of leave and try and survive by throwing out a defensive auto turret. But ByuN doesn't bother. Yeah. He's just going to go for his medevac.
Yeah, spotting out the Widowmine is also really nice because I think it just allows him to be a little bit more cautious about any kind of move outs or anything that he does. He will be aware and hopefully more ready to react to something like that.
He's supply box.
Cyclone's moving to the wrong place right now for the Raven.
Wait a second. Oh, yeah, that's a little bit awkward. I think that's a better move, actually. You can just pull the SCVs away. Lost mining time, 2 SCVs. It sucks, but it's okay. And he could get some serious return damage by just continuing with his push. I lose the third one accidentally by putting him too fast in the gas geyser, but that's okay. He's going to push with Cyclones and Marines coming to the front, where Bunny expects it in the main base.
Cyclone may take some serious damage on the Widow.
What? How? Now only one Marine's gonna die, or no Marine's gonna die.
Widow mines.
Oh, come on.
Widow mines.
Oh, that would have really helped. I mean, at least it alerted Bunny so he could reposition his tank.
Oh, focus fires down the tank though. Gets it right before the Cyclones end up falling. The Marines are gonna be able to continue doing damage, and even though the medevac goes down, oh my god, the Widow mine does more friendly fire damage to the Viking.
Oh my god. ByuN is so good
ByuN
at this game.
is just, he's in such dominating control of this series right now.
I can't believe he did that. I mean, I thought about it, and I could see it happening, but I would never be able to do that. Alright, that was cool. The attack does not end up working out as effectively as ByuN was hoping for, and that Viking just barely didn't go down. But it still was worth the units given, and ByuN does still have a 6-worker lead.
Yeah, and of course that ends up having a huge impact because now he knows, okay, yeah, I took out so many of my opponent's Marines and everything else. Doesn't really have an opportunity to put in any kind of form of counter aggression. Bunny is basically stuck at home, so ByuN can continue getting up the rest of his production, getting up his barracks, getting up his refineries, and I guess getting up his upgrades at some point. He has his engineering bay done.
Yeah, I'm gonna delay that a little bit more, I guess. It's +1, there we go.
Yeah. Big gas starved.
Yeah, Stim is on the way, faster than that of Bunny's, just by a little bit though. He does have a tech lab on that barracks. I was worried it was still in a reactor. His production is also a little bit later, so eventually ByuN will have an even, if not greater, army supply, with again that faster +1.
Where did Bunny's army come from? This is actually it's not a massive army. This is really lacking in Marines, but definitely more units than I thought he had.
I was gonna say, Bunny definitely had more Vikings. Okay, well, 2 for 2, not so bad. ByuN was gonna try and intercept this push, or just push on himself. It's a little tricky. The units are very similar, but those auto turrets will make this go in favor of Bunny. There's one of them.
This could be a legitimate turnaround right now. If there's not that much over here for ByuN and Bunny gets set up, these auto turrets taking out one of the siege tanks, and he gets set up inside the natural. SCV's being pulled off the line.
That was a really cool move to actually stop the tanks. A Viking could land and deal with these tanks right now, but he did just lose enough SCVs to now be even with Bunny, and he doesn't clean up the tanks. This is problems. This is big problems.
I think that these reinforcements, 5 Marines with a siege tank should be enough to clean this up. Even pulling the SCVs.
Yeah, he wants to be extra safe, so he loses like a couple more, 2 more, and a few more Marines. But it is held, and the game evens out very much so. ByuN does have faster production, as I was talking about, so that also means that he has a faster second tech lab, as he chose to go for a second tech lab. So he's going to have combat shields a lot faster, and this is where ByuN has his advantage back in the game. He lost his economic advantage, although it was very slight to begin with, but he has a tech advantage, and that's probably going to be even better.
Yeah, and even beyond just like combat shields and everything, he has his +1 missile or infantry weapons already done. So that is going to be a huge part of this next couple of engagements with the Marines engaging each other. So we'll see how that plays out. Vikings for Bunny doing a pretty good job. I think he got the Viking advantage now with 2 Vikings still alive.
Yeah, he does. Raven dealing some auto turret harassment. Doesn't get too many SCVs. Just sends them packing. Vikings could have gotten some damage. There we go. You can't kill them at a vac. Yeah, I don't think so. But it did stop the reinforcements from coming in too quickly, as ByuN has the rest of his army on the front lines. And really, I think he wants to contain. I don't think he can push, but contain for sure. But instead, he's going to find himself maybe a little out of position. Very even number of units here. Not worth by Bunny.
Viking ends up dying for ByuN's 3rd expansion. Yeah, I don't know if that was worth it, but Bunny is not throwing down a 3rd.
No, he's not. He doesn't quite have enough minerals, so this might be the time which he does, but it's gonna have to be on location, and of course, even then, it is very late.
Yeah, so I guess he's gonna try and make something happen with a big push out. He's still got a few more workers, like you were saying, so maybe he can make this work with just how much harassment he's actually been able to do.
Looks like he's gonna try and take a position he assumes ByuN is going to abuse, and he is absolutely correct, but he hasn't sieged up yet. Oh, a little scary.
Well, scan coming down. ByuN has the +1 infantry weapons lead, but still gotta be careful. Siege tanks do not care how strong your guns are.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have that much of a Marine advantage, and is in fact now a bit down in army supply. Upgrades are going to even up pretty perfectly in like 45 seconds here. ByuN goes for the draw, but Bunny did scan it. His units are out of position nonetheless, and his Vikings aren't going to be able to take down the medevacs fast enough, but ByuN decides not to go for it, assuming there's going to be Marines. You would be right.
Oh man, getting so close to being trapped over here. If the Vikings actually just continue to chase after these medevacs, he could be in a really nice place. He's going to be able to get this medevac. That medevac has 2 siege tanks in it.
Whoa. How did he not get that?
If the Vikings kept chasing.
Damn. Okay, well that's lucky for ByuN. ByuN was being very awkward anyways. So I'm surprised he did not lose anything. He probably should have. But good for him to not do that. And Bunny has brought this game back from taking damage early on and having a much later third CC. He's brought it back in upgrades, brought it back in tech, and he's brought it back in army supply. Now even up still 10. Looking at the top of these tanks.
Bunny getting the jump on a lot of ByuN's army over here. He hits a couple of the siege tank shots, but he definitely secures himself a nice little siege tank advantage. Now sitting 4-2, and is just gonna back up, feeling confident about that.
I think he could continue pushing. He probably assumed there's more reinforcements than there was, or that there was a drop coming or something like that. That's a bit of an odd pullback.
I guess this might just be one of those things where, like, you've been doing damage with these Raven auto turret harassments, and it's hard to actually keep track of how many SCVs die. They just die so quickly.
The Viking control is now in ByuN's favor? Maybe not, actually. Marines get a couple of taps on that Viking, and it's even.
Well, whoever wins out on the air battle is not going to have to use scans during these next couple of siege tank engagements, and it does look like both of them survive with both their Vikings, but neither one really feels confident to move them forward.
I mean, the point is, like, ByuN needs the Vikings for control. Bunny can just kind of have the Vikings because, well, maybe he can eventually get a medevac. He doesn't necessarily need them. Breaks down the rocks. Yeah. Bunny retreats, but into a lot more army, and he still has an army supply lead. He has fallen behind, however, on his upgrades. They were even. They're finally evened up, and he was behind maybe like 30, 45 seconds. Now he's behind almost a full 2-2. But he might just win the game.
Well, he's about to be. Okay, there is the +2 infantry weapons finishing up. +2 armor still a little bit further away from finishing up, so Bunny has a small window where he's only going to be slightly down in upgrades, but gotta be careful about these Marines, gotta split them up. He's trying to focus fire down these siege tanks against one of them, but losing so many Marines in the process.
Very close. If Bunny had like 7 more Marines or something like that, I think he actually might have been able to get that other tank. But he takes out the Vikings of ByuN, and ByuN was really hoping to get the Viking control, in a real big way. He got 2 Liberators to try and push this back. Now they kind of have to awkwardly try and harass, and that's not so bad. I really do think they were trying to go ahead and push back the tanks. 2-2 is done for ByuN entirely. I said ByuN very far away from that. Or Bunny, rather.
Oh, Liberators are going to be able to get some damage done over here. I think the Marines are going to have a hard time versus them. I guess they finally start to come in. Stim, pretty good. But here we go. Marines starting to stim on in over here for Bunny. ByuN doesn't have that many siege tanks left over on as third expansion. It's really just these, what, one of them?
It looks like it. Another one's about to pop, but this is really dangerous territory. Bunny is always so close to being able to break ByuN. Just not barely there. He's got Viking control once again, and this time he's the one with the Liberator, and he's got 1 tank to unsiege. It's not too tall of an order, and I think Bunny's going to be able to push in and win. Saves that tank just barely.
Yeah, but now the siege tank is unsieged. Gets back in there with a secondary siege tank that rallied in that you were talking about. Able to get some damage done over here. And Bunny, now he's finally in range of the command center. The timer has finally been put on. This is no longer just kind of that big pressure at the front. This is forcing ByuN to actually lift up and retreat on out. He's going to be losing out on so much of his economy now.
Yeah. I mean, good thing is he was winning in the economy for the most parts, but this is a big blow to an already pretty dicey game. He's been consistently down 20 army supply, but at least he had upgrades. Now it's no longer the case.
Oh. Looks like he's trying to come in with a flanking position, possibly. The Marines come in maybe from the backside while a couple of the units move in, but oh, Bunny smells the blood in the water, goes after the siege tanks, gets two free pickings, and ByuN might just try and base trade this, but there are siege tanks there.
Yeah, and he was really funneling in right there. ByuN goes to his other third, but he's not been repairing this orbital. I really hope he does. Bunny scans it immediately as well, so just a couple of units could stop that from mining. He tries the drop in the main base again, but Vikings in perfect position. Oh, Bunny's doom drop.
Oh boy.
That should do it. GG.
Bunny ties up the series 1-1. Says, no, this is not going to be a repeat of game number 1.
No, it's not. That was a very good game by Bunny. He brought it back from a couple of different bad points. Never truly out of the game. wasn't a huge comeback, but I really thought ByuN was going to be taking control there. Not the case.
Yeah.
It is.
By the way, big thank you before we hop to any breaks or anything to Rafano, who did up his pledge for the Olimoleague, and he said hopefully push it to the next level. I think that. Oh, Rafano, you tease. We are $1. If anyone wants to pledge $1 to the Olimoleague, it will up to the next level. It's at $549 to $550 per tournament, and we get an extra $100. Literally $1 will turn into $100 per monthly finals.
Nice. See, the Olimoleague also tweeted that. Very cool. Oh, kind of missed the timing on the break, so let's just get right into BaseTradeTV.
My bad.
That would have been pretty quick anyways.
Yeah. This is why I'm not allowed on base trade anymore. This is the real reason. God damn it, you talked through another break, fear check.
Yeah, seriously. Oh. Okay, it's back and forth series. Currently tied up 1-1 in a best of 5. In the bottom right is the red Terran. He is Bunny.
And up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Terran player. Give it up for ByuN. Sorry. Someone in the chat said Olimo.
Of course it did.
And I'm really tired, so.
Olimo.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's trying to kick in a little bit, the tiredness. I don't even know if my mom went to work. She might still be at home.
I'm going to work in 30 minutes, or sorry, an hour.
Well, don't you wish there's a snowstorm now?
I really would not mind a snowstorm right now.
Yeah, well, I never have to leave anyways, so I'm fine. I got food. I'm good.
Working from home, I see.
Working from home every day, good excuse.
No sick days required.
Well, yeah, I mean, sick days really, because like sick days for casters. Yeah, first of all, they're not allowed, but also it's like if anything affects your throat, it's just living hell.
Oh god, yeah, Loco was tweeting out about that and how he was just like that feeling when you're a content creator and you have a sore throat, and it's just like, oh, what do you do with your life now? The rest of my body is working, I swear. Yeah,
talk through it and continually hurt your throat.
Yeah,
that's good.
Make it worse. Worth noting, by the way, Bunny didn't just go for the scout. He went and scouted around even for potential proxy locations. Maybe concerned about some cheeky play that could be coming out of ByuN in game number 3.
Yeah. ByuN is the type of guy that could certainly do that, especially on BaseTradeTV, which seems to be so common for proxies. But not the case. And while it's not a proxy that he, didn't scout because it's not here, he did scout the one base build, which did complicate matters in the very first game, but won't do nearly as much here without that SCV with the Reaper. But it might still get some damage done. 2 Reapers, a Hellion, whatever follows up with that starport. Bunny's got to be a little careful. If he loses the Reaper, for instance, any one of them, it could be bad news. But he has 2, and ByuN only has 1, so psych! It might be ByuN making the mistake.
Oh!
Boom.
Yeah, oh my god. I don't know if that was intentional or just it happened to work out that way, but Bunny dropped his Reapers down and ended up coming in with a flank. So ByuN just didn't have anywhere to escape to. Oh, but Bunny awkward. Now gotta be careful.
2 Reapers is actually very good against 1 Reaper Hellion, really, but they were lined up and didn't expect the Hellion, so that's turns into a bit of a problem again for Bunny. Needs to bring his Reaper back home, and his factory only just finished, but he does stop that Hellion from moving in there. That would have been a huge mistake to let that Hellion in. 1 Reaper still very annoying to deal with. There's his finally back and healed up.
Yeah, but it looks like Bunny should be able to push this back as his Reaper does get the first shot off. At least pushing it back to the natural, if nothing else. TvT, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, right. Back and forth, back and forth.
He's actually going to move out there with his Reaper. Is he going to try and come... Is he going to try and cut it off, or is he going to try and get a scout out? Well, we'll never find out.
I think he wanted a scout.
Yeah.
And he was denied one. So he doesn't know if there's a Liberator on the way or a Banshee on the way. That's generally the two things you're going to do if you're one basing, because you're the one that's going to be the aggressor, but you know, it's not always the case. This Reaper's still alive. Oh, it was starting to heal up. That would have been very helpful.
Yano's doing some serious damage, though. He's already killed off 2 workers, killed off almost all the Marines. Even the Cyclone is going to be able to kill off the Hellion, and more SCVs are being picked off. Finally, Bunny pops out with his own Cyclone, but I feel like the damage has been done, Zombie Grub. Did more damage than it should have.
It did get a little out of control. The Banshee comes in, but Cloak is not done. I do kind of wish ByuN had rallied it elsewhere, because that would have potentially timed out with Cloak and still been a surprise. Now it's no longer a surprise. Maybe Bunny could have muled instead of, you know, scanned. But he does have a scan available. That's already pretty weak, so not too much damage done with that Banshee. And while it gets a little clumsy every now and then, Bunny holds.
Yeah, things I don't think were looking great for Bunny with the hold up until he actually managed to clean up the Banshee, only really losing, what, 2 or 3 Marines? So I think killing off that Banshee so quickly definitely ended up making it worth its weight. But, of course, losing a scan is a little bit annoying. Still has that Viking, or the 2 Vikings available, and a 3rd Viking also coming out with ByuN still making Banshees.
That is going to be a problem. Maybe. The trick is while you might have enough Vikings to take care of any amount of Banshees, you might not have enough detection to take care of any amount of Banshees, because who expects the 3rd and 4th Banshee? You're going to start muling at some point.
Yeah, 2 SCV kills with that 2nd Banshee. The 3rd Banshee gonna be popping out and making its way across the map now. And I guess the 3rd Banshee is like the weirdest one. Sometimes you do see the 2nd Banshee, but ByuN gotta be careful. Vikings landing and killing off the Cyclone. And then unlanding to kill off the Banshee.
Oh, that pre-scan is just perfect.
This is the ideal hold versus at least the Banshee harassment for Bunny. He has gotten a huge edge off of that defense.
Yeah, this is a bit of a snowball territory, especially if those Vikings could land on top of the tank. Unfortunately, SCs get that surround, so landing was not the ideal thing to do. And that tank's going to be able to siege. So ByuN is mixing names now. Bunny is pushed back by ByuN.
Yeah, Bunny's still getting up all of his production behind all this as 4 barracks starting to finish up. ByuN still has 3 of his own barracks and finally has both of his tech labs set up so he can get up his stim and combat shields at the exact same time. Oh, what a thought. But Bunny's going to retreat home and kind of be happy with the damage he's already done.
Well, Bunny already has his 5 barracks to ByuN's 3 and evenly timed that stim. And he did have enough minerals to make a 3rd, but he just made medevacs instead. So the point is, Bunny might have a bit stronger of an army in a minute or 2 here. But he is missing that combat shields. And he is not getting a 2nd tech lab. So he'll just be straight up behind in that regard. At a pretty pivotal point, ByuN is moving out. The barracks won't have really kicked in yet. And combat shields is definitely a make or break upgrade.
If there's anything I've learned, Zombie Grub, it's that in TvT, no advantage is a true advantage. Everything can be turned around.
What?
TvT, just because I feel like you're always just one slightly bad engagement away from losing the entire game.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
It's a snowball matchup, but it's also a comeback matchup. So
yeah. I think the word I would go with is volatile. Cyclone focus firing down the medevac. I think Bunny's it doesn't quite get it. Gets so close to it though.
Yeah, very close.
Ends up backing out. But sees the army kind of starting to move across the map, so he has more time to prepare.
This drop isn't going to be so bad. Usually this many Marines is not too much, but it can cancel this 3rd base. Oh, this medevac though. Oh, lordy.
Oh.
There's
also... Yeah, that medevac with the double cyclones can make its way over the main base. Gotta be really careful, because once he drops those out, I feel like those cyclones are basically committed. Oh, 1 Marine kills off both cyclones and the medevac. What a value Marine.
Well, on the other side, Vikings kill off a very important medevac of ByuN, so his drop looks like it's going to get cleaned up. There's just enough Marines left over. Oh, is there?
Whoa.
Very close.
There were almost enough. Oh, God, and they're rallying in one by one. The Vikings also end up landing, but they just get picked off by those Marines from ByuN on the low ground. Siege Tank also on the low ground, gonna be able to take care of everything over here. High ground vision is still gonna be nice, but I think that, yeah, ByuN finally has to back up. Who got the better end of that trade?
I don't know, that one tank made sure that it was, I think, in more even trade than it was going to be. Otherwise, ByuN's drop is really gonna get cleaned up. It also happened before Combat Shields was done for Bunny, and that would have maybe actually really just absolutely demolished ByuN's drop if Combat Shields had been done. That's good timing right there. Bunny looking for that revenge drop is going to barely skirt past the army without being noticed. Oh, he did notice it. He did see it, but he can't pull back for it. He can just try and rally as much back home as possible, which might be enough, so Bunny's not going to continue with the push.
Oh man, Bunny's actually pulling back. If he had unloaded those medevacs, he could have come in with a flanking maneuver, going after those siege tanks, but instead he's just going to lose half of his army, comes in with the medevacs now, and may be able to clean up, but that could have been a stronger hold, I think, if he had come back a little bit earlier.
Yeah, well, I think if he had another drop, he actually would have been really great, but the drop on top of the tanks did end up really making it work out. These guys are constantly on the brink of taking terrible fights, but end up taking kind of even fights. This time, I think Bunny takes a lead. However, he was up 10, and then he was up 20, and I guess he's back up to 20, so he has the army supply lead, even upgrades for still a long time to come, and he is going for that counter drop. This time on a third base, he's hoping is there. It's not moved over yet, though, so he's got to, I don't know, I guess go into the natural. Not usually the place you're going to try and doom drop.
Oh, boy. Well, I think it still might end up working out. He's going to be able to catch one of the engineering phase. SCVs being pulled off the line. This is such a fantastic spot for these siege tanks to abuse. It's going to be so difficult for ByuN to actually clean this up.
He does manage to, just barely. Like the tanks, well, the SCVs having to be pulled. Oh, maybe not. 3 Marines live, as well as all the medevacs, and 21 SCVs were killed. Third CC is done for both players, but Bunny's already sending his to that third. A very forward location.
Yeah, I guess I don't hate the position for that command center, just because I guess if you're looking to continue to be aggressive so much, it's not as much of a concern. If your opponent's going to do a big forward attack also, you're not as worried about like getting pulled apart from different angles. I feel like that's most of what ByuN's been doing with like occasional doom drops.
Bunny is once again falling behind in 2-2. This happened last game, but it didn't matter. He had such a commanding position. Which, it might be the same thing here. Similar situation, up 20 army supply, yet way behind on the upgrades.
Well, Marine to scout out that third expansion location. ByuN got to make something happen over here, but he just does not have that big of an army.
He does have the high ground in the Zanaga. Doesn't matter if there's a scan, doesn't matter if there's a concave.
And the siege tanks are going to get taken out immediately. Looks like Bunny is going to be able to continue to push across the map. Not setting up as far in supply as he was actually at the beginning of that engagement, though. I think he was setting up almost 25, 30 supply, and now he's only setting up around 12. That's
true. What the army compositions look like. Even on the Vikings, a lot more medevacs for Bunny, a single Marine. What are you doing, buddy? And pretty even on the Marines. So it's really just the tank count and medevac count that Bunny is exceeding ByuN in.
Siege tank sieging up in a nice spot over here for ByuN, but that does leave him susceptible if all these medevacs just decide to load up and move over to the right side of the natural expansion. Looks like Bunny doesn't really want to take that risk with the Vikings over there, though. He is loading up 2 medevacs and floating them around the left-hand side of the map. Going over the Zelnaga watchtower before really pushing forward.
Finally, we have Bunny start his upgrades.
Yeah, Bunny's getting to a really nice spot over here, though, by the natural expansion. I think this is going to be really difficult for ByuN to break, especially with the double medevacs going over to the third expansion. ByuN is going to have a really hard time dealing with this. Oh, he's split up 2 medevacs of his own. He was trying to go on the aggressive, but I guess almost luckily he comes in over here to the third to defend, but he also ends up losing one of those medevacs. So Bunny is going to be able to clean up all of those Marines and every SCP over there.
Yeah, that ends up going better. The tank fights, the main fight, I suppose, also, I guess, wasn't good enough for ByuN after losing 18 SCVs, so that is game in Bunny's favor. The double drops to the third base ended up being a lot more important than the main engagement.
Really surprising, I would say. But very, very cool game, and Bunny takes the 2-1 lead in the series. Is now at match point versus ByuN.
That is surprising. But what did I say? Bunny can be a good guy. Can be a good player. Gosh, I don't even know if it's can even squeeze in a break here. I feel like these guys are gonna play like a 5-minute last game, and I'll be like, shit.
Oh, I'm definitely getting on the tired side. So
Me too.
In the last game, I have another, what is that? 9 or 10 hours left of work after this, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh, there are those beeps. Already into the next game. It's Cactus Valley as ByuN's map choice. Oh boy. Someone just
Only
someone
map
just
left,
proxied.
right?
This is the 4th game. So no.
4th. Yeah, okay. I know numbers.
There's one more map left.
There's one more map left.
What map
Numbers.
is left?
Good
Abyssal?
question. Palladino?
No, Paladin's not in the map pool.
Proxima, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're right.
I
it
always
is.
mix those
It
up.
is. Yeah,
Okay. I had it right. How dare you?
You good. You good. It was well. You kind of did. You just said the wrong thing. Whatever.
All right.
It's Proxima would be the last map chosen for these players if Bunny were to lose. But on the top right, he is down 1. It is the Red Terran, ByuN.
And spawning up in the top left, we have the now teal Terran player. It's Bunny from Dust Gaming.
Doing Dust proud if you could take out ByuN. ByuN,
I think it would do Dust prouder if he spawned as the red color. Just saying.
Shut up. He's the dust color.
What
Quiet,
color is
Lou.
a dust bunny?
Gray, but let's just pretend it's teal. Anyway, yeah, ByuN occasionally has these Olimoleagues where he even get like knocked out in the round of 32, and you're just like, what? But usually, if he plays, he's at the round of 8 at the very least, if not the round of 4 every single time. So this is not an off day for ByuN. It just is a good TvT player in Bunny.
Yeah, being able to make it this far and do so well and be up against ByuN, and having taken out a lot of really solid players like his teammate Hush, took out Keen 2-0 and another TvT, as well as also taking out, I believe it was Classic. That was like the really, really big result that I was surprised by in a TvP. Bunny's had a really good run this Olimoleague.
Guess I was looking forward to seeing a Protoss in the finals, TBH.
Me too.
Because Hero's like a
I really
fun
like
player.
Hero. Heroes was really fun to watch.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if Hush had won, then we would have seen if he does the exact same thing over and over again, because he managed to beat a bunch of other good Terrans, so the fact that he got 2-0'd by his teammate was a little bit surprising. There's a lot of...
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Hush could have had a run through the Olimoleague where he only played PvTs if he had beaten his teammate.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting possibilities, but we're here now. The TvT may be finishing up in this game. They both went for a pretty identical builds. Cyclone, Marines, Command Center, Reapers, Scouting. I guess Bunny takes a bit of a chance here and scouts with his Reaper, where ByuN, a little more defensive, waits to see if the opponent's Reaper would come quickly enough that he could get a couple pot shots on it. They awkwardly might meet at the wrong base.
Yep.
That would be something.
That would be a
What?
first for me in seeing.
What? Oh, and ByuN wasn't paying attention. He should not have landed on the grenade.
Oh. Yeah, ByuN having a lot lower health on his Reaper, even takes an extra shot. If he rounds a corner or takes too long on something, could end up losing it, but no. He's going to be able to get out of there alive, just barely. Unfortunately for ByuN, though, he does not get the scout off. Wait a second. Bunny knows where his opponent is, right?
Yeah, Bunny has already scouted all the
Okay.
bases. ByuN has not, but ByuN just guesses.
Okay.
Bunny had to retreat because he probably thought there might be a second Reaper. Now he confirms with a scout that there wouldn't. Well, there could still be a second Reaper at the command center, but there wasn't. And even sees that the tech lab isn't researching, so it's going to be a Raven from there. ByuN's Reaper looks like it just died. Yeah, it just got taken out by the Marines, so he does not know what's going on in Bunny's main base.
That is really unfortunate for ByuN, especially since Bunny even got into the mineral line. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but did soften up some of these workers, and if we do end up having a kind of Raven auto turret harassment or something, we'll start one-shotting quite a few of them.
They get a CM Hans 8 for the 2-month resub. It's been a long road, but we made it. 2 months is kind of a long trip, I suppose. It'd be quite the road trip. This push might just get set up in a nice position. The tank only just pops out, and, well, thankfully ByuN had that Cyclone a little bit forward. Otherwise, you know, this tank gets sieged up right against these rocks, and he could be sieged up on his command center. Very unideal. Not the case, though, and Bunny has to retreat. Very similar armies, so there's not really any opportunity to do very much, and no medevacs means no need to worry about drops in the main base quite yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna be delaying any kind of part of that TvT meta where we end up seeing just constant drop harassment and aggression. But I like, again, Bunny has been doing a really, I think Bunny has been doing the one that's, or been the one that's been doing a really nice job with this, sending out all those kind of early Marines, scouting around, trying to keep an eye out on the map, and scouting around for potential not proxies, but drops coming in. That Marine even survives a little bit longer.
Boy. Medevacs have popped out? I canceled them. Wait, I canceled them.
Really?
Interesting. I don't know what he started. I guess he started combat shields.
He has one Raven now, but that's it.
Huh. I do think combat shields is a little more important. You specifically get the second tech lab so you can start it as soon as possible, so that does make sense. Just a little awkward to notice. It does look at the way his units are positioned that he wants to do a drop into the natural. That can be a very risky maneuver, as typically...
Whoa.
Typically in these positions, Bunny's army would be in the natural, ready to deal with a drop. Alright, he'll just push forward, he won't drop it. I think that's a smarter move. The Raven in the main base is being, trying to be cornered by the Marines. There's also a tank here.
Well, kills off 3 or 4 Marines. Not a terrible trade for energy, but I think generally you are trying to go for those SCV kills if you can. Okay, here we go. ByuN's starting to move in with his siege tanks. Is he going to get siege up in a nice spot, or is Bunny going to be able to abuse this high ground position? Catches one of the siege tanks. Stim goes forward, sights off of one of the medevacs as well. Marines charging forward. ByuN sieges up, and it looks like Bunny backs off, saying, yeah, I got the better end of that trade by a large margin.
Yeah. Cut my losses, especially because Bunny does not have combat shields what ByuN does. If he had tried to take another fight, it could have gone wrong for him for sure. But he just sends his Marines forward and leaves the tanks at home. Gonna be probably looking for a third base, which ByuN is building once again on location. This kind of bit him in the butt last game on Belshir. It had its cancel, and then he just, well, he really couldn't get another third base beyond that.
This is a dangerous moment. ByuN has a lot more Marines and army supply ready to charge into Bunny's natural expansion, depending on how these siege tank shots go. But at the same time, Bunny's able to move into the third expansion, cancel ByuN's third, and may even be able to move into the natural. There's nothing there.
There's a lot more Marines where, you know, Bunny just had him hold up. If they were on the front lines, I don't think he gets broken at all, but he's not really broken. He still holds the choke, and while Bunny doesn't have a third CC on the way, he could at least build that in his main base and not feel too worried. Marines get into that natural, start killing SCVs. Don't quite get on top of the tank in time, so gotta pick up and get out of there. That's some good damage.
Yeah, a little less damage than I actually thought was going to happen, but killing off the third expansion or canceling it is still very, very nice damage to get done.
Then get a pandemonium for the 25-month resub. Oops, forgot the 1984. There you go.
Quarter of a
Vikings.
century.
Yeah, exactly. Quarter of a century.
25 years.
This is very awkward.
Amazing.
Why? Vikings, Raven, Vikings, Raven. They can kill the Raven and then join up with the main army, and they'd be such a good addition. Finally gonna find it.
Alright, there we go. Well, 2 of the Vikings find it. And they don't kill it.
What? Okay, well, stop. Bunny's double drop is pushed away, forced to pick up. That Marine doesn't kill the Raven either, and that's just an invincible Raven.
Oh my god. Well, really nice siege up over here from Bunny is not quite in range of any production, because I think Terran players have finally learned after 6 years of StarCraft 2, yeah, let's not position our stuff right next to the edge of the cliff in TvT. It seems like a bad idea. But these Vikings are definitely going to be able to push back those medevacs, making it a lot harder for Bunny to do a lot more.
Yeah, and it's too bad Bunny doesn't have his own Vikings. Duh.
They were busy, Zombie Grub.
I would say
that Raven.
I would say that he forgot about them, but we saw him move it. And just
he's moving them again.
It. Oh god, the Raven's gonna get home. I mean, they both kind of had very awkward units, to be honest, because that Raven could have also helped ByuN in a couple of situations. So whatever. The double drop is turned into a single drop as the medevac over here doesn't have anything to do. So 3 SCVs get taken out. Not bad. That supply depot might also burn down. Bunny is thwarted from attacking a ByuN's 3rd base.
Vikings finding the Liberator, but it seems like Bunny is quite a bit outnumbered right here. Liberator gets 1 or 2 shots off on the siege tank, but that immediately gets repaired up. 4 medevacs!
Okay then. Definitely don't drop into there. Medevac is going to get back in that natural. No, there are Marines over there as well. You think that would mean there's a lot less here, and that's true. The tanks are still doing a great job of holding on. It's now a Liberator for ByuN that's going to start taking out Bunny's tanks. He's got to focus fire it. There we go.
Yeah. Bunny ends up backing up. I think he could legitimately take on a decent chunk of these Marines inside the natural of ByuN, just because he has them. He had 2 medevacs. I think he might have ended up losing one of them. That or he sent it back around.
You sent it back around or F2'd it or something. Oh, yeah, you're right. It sent it back around. That's it. Can't believe it survived, but it got back here. Viking control now in Bunny's favor, and he is going to try and get 1 Liberator. Always a useful tactic to do. Thank you to Angordix for the Twitch Prime sub.
Oh, SCV is going downside the natural expansion of ByuN as the medevac moves its way back in, finding a lot of very, very vulnerable SCVs. Taking a 9-worker lead. 10-worker lead now.
Yeah. I mean, Bunny took forever to get his 3rd base, and it wasn't even an orbital this entire time it was placed in the natural, so this is still, you know, an okay game for ByuN, but in terms of workers killed, it's 25 killed for ByuN, and just, like, well, Bunny has not taken any damage. It's been him being aggressive always. And he's still trying to be aggressive. He's forced to just contain because ByuN continuously has units in the main base. But one day, ByuN will F2, and that's when Bunny kill him.
Yeah, it's that funny situation where you look at the supplies and say, well, they're even on supplies, but one person just has a lot of extra supply in those workers that aren't really going to translate directly into the main army fight. And when is that moment going to come when ByuN just gives up and is tired and fed up of this siege tank line versus siege tank line fight and gets on the counter-aggressive?
Well, now. Dream medevacs are picked up.
He tried before. Didn't work out so well.
Yeah. I mean, Bunny already had a good amount of reinforcements, and he just paired up a lot more Marines with this army, probably anticipating the pickup. Oh my god, no. Well then.
Liberator's getting some real serious damage done. Taking out a couple of the siege tanks, and the Vikings seem to be reigning supreme for ByuN. Especially, I think, with the point defense drone that was added in the mix.
Yeah, that was cool. Very interesting setup by Bunny. ByuN needs to consider there's a lot of Marines on the bottom side, but he's trying to break the tanks.
Yeah, Bunny lost all of his Marines, though, on the north side, so all these siege tanks are really, really vulnerable. The Vikings gonna also be able to take the lead over here for ByuN. He could land his Vikings on top of these siege tanks afterwards. He stems in with all of his Marines, and yeah, sure, there are a lot of Marines for Bunny on the south side, but they're still making their way over to the natural expansion. He still has a little bit of time to work with.
ByuN has so many tanks, they're so slow to respond. The main command center could be targeted down, but that might risk him being able to enter into the main base. Supply depots are raised by just a couple more seconds. He's got to run. Can he escape, though? Maybe it doesn't matter.
Doesn't look like it. He's gonna lose all of his medevacs and all of his marines at the same time. Killing off 15 workers, yeah, ByuN was already in a weird economic position, but was it worth it?
I think maybe it was. Very hard to say, but 15 SCVs plus of a command center, that does put ByuN in a tricky position as time goes on, but right now he does have 30 army supply lead and another upgrade lead because Bunny apparently hates 2-2. Always takes forever to get there. So if he had pushed in right now, he might have been able to just win the game. He pulls back initially, scans, realizes that, oh, maybe I should have, but I think he's thinking that there's going to be a huge drop, which he's not entirely wrong about, but this isn't enough, I think, to really... He's definitely sacrificing an opportunity to win here. Time is not on his side.
Yeah, unfortunately, ByuN just does not know what's exactly happening, and Bunny's going to be able to move in over here to the right-hand side, and funny enough, even though ByuN is playing so safe and, I guess, quote-unquote defensive, he still might end up just taking a ton of damage with this drop, because he's out in the center of the map. Well, Siege up in a nice spot, and Bunny just tries to charge straight up the ramp.
This is going to be very awkward. I think ByuN could still win this. Bunny sees the army, even scans to see, like, wait, that's really his army? It is. One tank's going to try and hold on along with the SCVs. That command center is going to get targeted down. This one manages to live.
It's a base trade. Get your ace 1, ace 2 out.
Yeah. Oh, Bunny has something to stop the drop on top of his tank.
Oh. This is going to get awkward very, very quickly. ByuN's now position up on the high ground is going to take out all of the reinforcements of Bunny, whereas I think ByuN still can pull his workers and try and at least get some more damage done, slow down the attack of Bunny.
They're both depleted in bank, but ByuN has such a large army force, and they're just better, too, with the upgrades.
Okay, well, SCV is starting to be pulled, but no, Bunny taps out. GG.
GG. ByuN ties it up, and we go to the ace match on Proxima. We're going to try and squeeze in a very quick 2-minute commercial break. See you guys soon. Welcome back to the last game of the cast of the series of the day. It is on Proxima Station in the bottom left. Is the red... no, that's blue. Is the blue Terran with the red logo. It is Bunny.
I told you he should have picked red.
You got me.
And spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Terran player, BlizzCon champion himself. Give it up for ByuN.
I had a couple of resubs. Thank you to Love SC2 for the 32-month resub. 32 years, PogChamp. Let's go, Bunny. Dust fighting. And you get a Black Epiphany 27 for the 2-month resub. No comment, no comment. Once again, as it is the last game, last opportunity to do so, you guys should check out the Olimoleague Patreon, patreon.com/Olimoleague, to see if you like any of the rewards, and if you feel like giving a couple of bucks to a good cause. The Korean tournament scene is a good cause.
And we are still $1 away from the next goal of adding $100 to the monthly finals prize pool. Seriously, guys, $1 a month.
And you can also save a kitten.
That's not even like a taco.
It's not $1 a month, is it? It's $1 a week.
It's $1 a week. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's $1 a week, but I think it's only 3 times a week. So it's $3.
$4 a month. That is a taco. I've been lied to.
Because the fourth week is just the monthly finals, I believe.
Yeah,
so it's only 3 times a week or a month.
Whatever.
That's not even a burrito, Zombie Grove. That's nothing.
It's not a burrito. It's a taco. Got it. Oh, we do have some harassment. My bad. The Reapers were made. Proxima Station, you can actually, believe it or not, you can get away without going for a Reaper, which is it's a little dangerous. But they're gonna chase each other.
So afraid right now.
The end of the earth. And the Proxima Station.
Oh, nice advantage for ByuN though. Both of the Reaper grenades explode on Bunny. That was actually beautiful. ByuN knocked Bunny's Reaper into his own grenade.
Man, that was pretty neato burrito. Speaking of that, so these Reaper fights really aren't that crucial. Yes, it sucks to lose your Reaper. Yes, it feels awesome to kill the Reaper, but they're both going for CC expand builds, and they're both going for what looks to be Widow Mine for the factory, and I don't know what they're both gonna get from the starport, but so far identical. The bunny Reaper does go down. I did that on purpose. And that will let ByuN try and scout, but it's just such a bad map for Reapers. These Marines are going to take it out. They're both going medevacs. What
up? Well, Widowmine going to be hiding itself in the corner and eventually going to be able to get out into that medevac and go for the really quick drop over there for Bunny. In the meanwhile, ByuN looking to do the same thing.
Exactly. They're both going to be going for the exact same type of drop. Now, the difference could be, Bunny could be like, I'm feeling a little suspicious, maybe I won't drop, but he does. And they're both going to have Cyclones on the defense as well as a handful of Marines. Unfortunately, it looks like Bunny gets a little supply block, so his Vikings also the tiniest little bit later. Very tiny differences that can actually mean a lot when it comes to this type of game, where they're mirroring each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially considering it's going to be that extra 1 or 2 shots on the medevac as ByuN's Viking is out and ready to intercept that medevac as soon as it pops its head in. Whereas the Viking for Bunny, not actually in here in time.
No!
Uh-oh.
Is it me? Oh, it's a Chinese caster. Oh my god, this is such an important part.
Game paused.
Brutal.
Okie doke.
Game resumed.
This is that was actually a really crucial time.
Yeah.
Bunny was gonna go with his drop, and ByuN had started his drop. He was repositioning his Widow Mine as well.
Ooh, what am I getting some decent damage done over there for both sides? It looks like Bunny's Widow Mine is about to go off. Oh, only kills 1 worker.
That was so close to doing a lot more damage, though. His medevac is not gonna survive if it goes back into the Viking. Barely survives here. SCVs are pulled into the command center. They're still very even. Scan timings even as well on the Widow Mines. Medevacs for both parties barely getting outs, and workers killed pretty much identical. Damn.
Yeah. There's actually a weird potential that the medevacs as they retreat back home will intercept each other. At which point it may come down to whoever's got their Marines unloaded, which currently is Bunny, although his medevac's a lot lower on health.
Yeah, right? This is... even at this point, even if they both, either one got either one's medevac, I don't think it'd be too impactful to the game, as they've had time to calm down, get the production, get on supply block, start their tech. Although ByuN, to note, has started his a lot faster. He's got a bit cleaner on the backside of these builds. So Stim already on the way, +1 already on the way. Production, I guess, already finished up here, whereas Bunny still is waiting to add on 2 barracks. And this is some pretty crucial differences in macro. Bunny even going to decide to go for a double engineering bay and a 3rd CC. It's going to extend his lack of production for a very long time.
I mean, on top of all the barracks and production that you were talking about, still no reactor. I guess this reactor has been finished up for Bunny. He's had to transfer the starport over to it, but still much slower on the production of that. Both these players only staying on 1 medevac, but second and third medevacs are going to be popping out a lot sooner from ByuN. That's going to really open up the opportunities for him to actually start pushing across the map if he wants to.
They get a hard revenge for the 100 bits with the clip. I don't know what the clip is.
100 years!
100 bits has to be different than years. What would 100 bits be? $100,000. That's the correct currency conversion.
$100,000?
Yes.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah,
I guess you have a different Twitch contract than I do.
Oh, that'd be the best. Oh, God. If only they accidentally placed the decimal point wrong in our contracts. Anyway.
I forgot the decimal point.
Just forget it, yeah, entirely. Doom drops. No, Vikings and a Doom drop. Alright, big difference here. Bunny does eventually lift up, though, so I guess it is turning out to be kind of similar situations once again. It's just a mirror game. I don't know what to say.
Oh, boy.
ByuN gets in here first, however.
Yeah, might actually be able to shut down the +1 infantry weapons at the same time, too. Bunny has a pretty scary looking army, though, and he gets siege up in an okay spot.
1 tank already taken out. There we go.
Definitely seems like it's going a bit better for ByuN so far.
Yeah, they're both kind of stalled out, but ByuN manages to finish his upgrades, whereas Bunny had put a lot of emphasis on his double upgrades, and now they're both dead. Combat Shields is finishing up for ByuN too, where Bunny's not even done with Stim. Bunny is trying to get a couple different locations attacked, and oh my god, the command center went down.
Oh.
Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, that was not supposed to happen at all. Oh god, his natural command center. Okay, ByuN is gonna go after the SCVs instead of the command center, but if he just lets go after the command center after this, that's gonna be a really big problem.
Well, that could definitely help even things up, but it would still be 1 base to 2, so he's gotta do a little bit more. There's a lot of chaos going on everywhere, but Bunny has a lack of army supply here, so while he can afford, kind of, to lose a 3rd command center, his tank is cleaned up, he has nothing but medevacs left. That's it. ByuN. What a weird game. He will take the finals 3-2.
Congratulations, victor of the Olimoleague monthly, and we'll be walking away with, I believe, $100.
Yeah. Bunny gets away with 50, which is still pretty good. As far as weeklies goes, it's actually very, very good. So.
And of course, securing themselves quite a few points that will help them qualify for the monthly finals. I think it's 5 points for ByuN and 3 points for Bunny.
I know, it's so confusing. Yeah. Basically getting 1st place guarantees you in the finals. 2nd place is basically a guarantee. So
yeah.
Good feelings. Good feelings all around. And that'll be the end of our cast. It's been 5.5 hour cast, so pretty long. A lot of great games. We're gonna end the cast with first a commercial break and then a bunch of shoutouts. So stay tuned if you please. Thanks. Hey everyone, thank you for watching those ads. It's time to do the end cast shoutouts. So first of all, let Fear Dragon go. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's early and you still gotta go to work, so what shoutouts would you like to do?
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun to kind of do a comeback cast on BaseTradeTV. You guys can catch me over on youtube.com/FearDragon64, twitch.tv/FearDragon64, and twitter.com/LiquidRet. And yeah, it was fun. Good deal.
Of course, follow the channel down below. Follow me on Twitter, @ZGGaming, on Twitch, ZombieGrub, YouTube, ZombieGrub, Patreon, ZombieGrub, and Amazon links down below to support me. And then, of course, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Olimoleague to help out the Olimoleague. Reminder that if you are interested in attending the Ting Live Finals, which is in about a week and a half, that you best sign up on the Eventbrite. Someone would be so kind as to link that to secure your spot in the venue, as well as give us a general idea of how many people are coming. Really hope you guys can make it. And then, as always, there is still the ongoing Matcherino fundraiser for the Team House in Korea. And I think the cooking stream is set up for sometime like this weekend, maybe, I want to say. Don't quote me on it, though. And there's a ton of other stuff that we have coming in the future for you guys. So, a lot of exciting stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Hope you guys continue to support BaseTradeTV. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Corsair Cup, because we got all these weeklies smushed in together because Ting has a lot of casting. So, bye!